Alright, welcome back everybody. Today, I'm Red Panda. This character looks like a Dementor, and today we're going to show you one of the best farming methods Elden Ring has to offer. Let's get started. Alright then, first things first, we're going to go head back to the first grace that we've actually managed to get into once you first log into this game, at the first step. There will be a gentleman there that's talking to you about being maidenless at the very start of the game. However, after you've defeated Godric the Gafted and managed to get his Great Rune and power it up, and go to the hole to exchange his presence for an item of some sort, you can come back to this grace, and he'll no longer be there. Instead, there will be a little note on the ground telling you to meet him at the Rose Church. And the Rose Church is located somewhere in central Lunaria, and to actually quickly access it, you can go ahead and mark yourself over here onto this little island. The easiest place to go from here is to go to the Boil Prawn Shack, and then walk yourself over there. Now, upon entering the Rose Church, the gentleman will be there again, and he'll talk to you about the two fingers. You want to pick the dialogue option that says, they don't really seem right. However, if you do that, then he'll try to invite you into this nice lovely blood call. Not really suspicious at all, not at all. From there, he'll give you an objective to go ahead and invade other worlds, and will give you 5 bloody figures to do so. You don't have to utilize them all. In our case, we can just go ahead, invade 3 worlds. I'd usually recommend in areas of high player traffic. One of the easiest locations is the Bestial Sanctum, oddly enough, from our previous grind build. From there, go ahead and invade 3 or 4 times. You don't have to actually win or succeed. You can literally just go ahead, jump off the cliff, and call it good. I did that 3 times and then went back to the Rose Church to advance the quest. Now, after destroying a few small businesses, Jeff Bezos over here will go ahead and give us a rag to go ahead and soak in blood of his favorite Amazon employees. I mean, a maiden. The easiest way to go ahead and do this is to head over to the 4 Bellfires, and on the second to last Bellfire, there will be a portal there that'll take you back to the very start of this game. From there, you can go ahead and walk all the way back inside the church, and there will be a maiden in there. At some point, they can go ahead and soak your rag in. From there, you can go ahead back to the Rose Bell Church, and he'll then congratulate you and welcome you into the Order. Beyond there, he'll go ahead and take off your finger and give you a nice lovely medallion as a rule, the inductee into the cult of Molag Bal, or whatever generic hero it is this time. From there, they tell you not to use the medallion, but screw that, we're going to go ahead and use it, and immediately go to this brand new grind site. Upon using the medallion, you'll be teleported underground to this nice lovely temple. That's okay, we don't have to go to that temple. In fact, we'll go straight behind us, around the corner, and up the cliffside, and there we'll actually find the grind spot. At the very top of the grind spot, there will be a grace you can go ahead and rest at and reset. This will be the main grace that we're going to be using for this grind pattern. From there, now you're ready to actually go ahead and start grinding. Now, there's a few ways to go about this grinding. Ideally, you want to have some ranged weapon of some sort, like a bow or a crossbow. Doesn't matter what power, you just need it. And either some type of spell or incantation that could do large AoE damage. And with the bow, we can go ahead and look off to the cliff directly upon exiting the grace, and you'll see a large bird all the way down there. Go ahead and shoot it just to aggro it, and it'll immediately charge off the cliff and kill itself. From there, we can go ahead and start moving on to the regular generic trash mobs, and this is where the magic or the incantations can come really in handy. In my case, I utilized the Glintstone Dragon Breath, which is an absolutely fantastic incantation with a very large AoE, and can be further enhanced with a couple of items. And with these enhancements, you can actually go ahead and quickly clear out the room, use a potion, clear out the next pack, use another potion, and clear out another pack. And then from there, there will actually be 4 wandering troops a little bit past the sight line. You can go ahead, pop another potion, and breathe them down. For whatever reason, upon aggroing them, they'll just stand there and not really do anything, so it's quite easy to go ahead and just breathe them down. And after that, head back to the grace and reset it. And this only takes roughly around 1 minute to 2 minutes, depending on your skill, per run. And from that alone, you'll get roughly around 20 to 30,000 runes. So you can see this grind is incredibly efficient. However, it cannot be accessed until you have beat Godric the Gafted, which is the second boss in the game, or at least the second main story boss. But for a mid to late game grinding spot, this absolutely cannot be beat right now. Now, you can further enhance this grind by going ahead and actually consuming things like a golden pickled fowlfoot and a silver pickled fowlfoot. The golden one will go ahead and boost your rune acquisition, while the silver one will go ahead and boost your item acquisition from this farm. However, these creatures don't seem to drop very many items or very much gear, so I wouldn't really utilize a silver pickled fowlfoot at all, as you will not really see a notable appreciation in runes. But the golden one is still absolutely fabulous for this, and you can go ahead and actually craft it a little bit later on in the game when you've actually found the appropriate book, and you can go ahead and find the foretold fowlfoots just from slaying birds around the location. So as for the build here, we'll go ahead and take a look at equipment. We're going to go ahead and use the Lordsworn's Secret Sword here. Doesn't really matter what sword you utilize or what weapon you utilize here, but this one's fairly powerful for me, and it has Golden Vow, which does enhance my Dragon Breath abilities a little bit due to the enhancement in Faith. However, it is not necessarily, well, necessary. From there, we also have a ranged weapon of some sort that you can utilize to go ahead and shoot down the bird early on. From there, to further enhance my Glintstone Dragon Breath, I have the Dragon's Communion Seal, which boosts Dragon Communication incantations, like the Glintstone Breath. You can go ahead and enhance this back at the workshop here, and it scales excellently off Arcane and Faith, which I have jacked up a bunch. From there, gear doesn't really matter too much here. I just throw in the gear that enhances your intellect, and the Commoner's Garb actually enhances your Faith by 1 point, so we'll go ahead and throw that on. I haven't found any sort of arms or legs that enhances your Faith or intellect or any relevant stats, so we'll go ahead and just put on the heaviest gear that we have for extra slice protection. From there are a couple of talismans that are useful here. So first things first, we're going to use Marika's Scar Seal, just because it raises up all the attributes related to magics, including Arcane, Intellect, Faith, and all of that. So we'll go ahead and use that. Makes us a bit more vulnerable to damage, but considering that we kill these enemies pretty quickly, it doesn't really matter too much. From there, we'll also use the Faithful's Canvas Talisman. This just raises the potency of incantations, such as the Dragon Breath. From there, we'll also use the Gold Scarab to further enhance our grind, since it just gives you extra runes per kill. As for equipment, none of these really matter, other than the fact that I'm going to be using a Flask of the Wandering Physic and the Flask of the Cerulean Tears here. Now, the Flask of Wandering Physic will be go ahead and using the Cerulean Crystal tier and the Magic Shrouding Crack tier. This is just because this actually gives us a little bit of FP back after utilizing Golden Vow from our Straight Sword, as well as just enhancing our magical damage from our Glintstone Breath. So what we do in this case is that we pop our lovely Golden Vow, pop the Physic Flask here, and now we're back to full, and then we can go ahead and start spamming Dragon Breaths again. And then beyond that, make sure you just have enough Cerulean Tear Flask here to go ahead and get through all of the mobs. I recommend at least 4 flasks that can fully replenish your FP. And then beyond that, you should be set to go ahead and try this. Now, this is just really one way in how I approach actually grinding this. There's still multiple valid ways of actually doing this grind that don't utilize heavily on incantations. You can go ahead and utilize a sword or spear of any sort and still actually do this really easily. Same thing can be said for sorcery. So beyond that, if you guys actually found this guide to be incredibly helpful, go ahead and leave a comment down below, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any other ideas or recommendations of what I should cover inside this game, go ahead and comment down below, and I'll see what I can do. And if there's enough support, maybe I'll do a full video discussing how to get every single one of the pieces of this gear for your build later on down the line. Beyond that, I want to thank you all for joining me and watching this guide today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.